What's going on, everybody? It's Crypto Vision here, back again with another crypto market update. Today's video, we're going to be going over DEGEN, we're going to be going over Jasmine, and I'm actually going to be throwing in some CRV in there per one of the subs requests. So, hey, we're gonna look at this, we're gonna dissect it, and we're gonna see where we're going from here. So, we're still right at this tipping point, this tip of the spear. It is kind of scary right now for a lot of people. They're like, "Oh no, we're going to zero, we're going to zero." When in reality, this is just a horizontal trend line, right? This gives us an idea of when we could possibly see a breakout, right? So, we're going to be going over that. We're going to be going over it's the same thing kind of with Jasmine, and then just a fresh look at CRV. So, if you like today's video, drop a like, hit that sub button, and comment where you're tuned in from. I really appreciate it. So, overall, right, we're just compressing, right? We're compressing, and if we want to be, extra, if we want to just throw in some extra, effort in looking at DGen for a horizontal line of support, right? Because there's always an angled line of support, right? And then there's always a horizontal line of support. And so, or line of resistance, right? Line of resistance, line of support. Does this match up anywhere? That kind of showed some resistance. Anything through here? Resistance. Support. What about right here? Kind of right here, because you got, right, you do have this line like a wick right up to this area. You have a wick right up to this area, right? It's over weeks, right? Over weeks. This is on the weekly chart. So if we add this right here, add a yellow line, keep it to the weekly, right? We'll keep it to the weekly. All right, 3432. That is kind of an area that I'd like to see us stay above, regardless of what happens, right? Regardless of what happens. And we can always adjust, right? We can always adjust the trend line. It gives us an idea. It gives especially me an idea of, because time frames are so hard to, by the end of August we'll see all-time highs. By the end of September we'll see all-time highs. This is the week. If this nothing happens this week, then we have to readjust what is actually going on, right? And so we'll see how this week plays out, and I'll keep you guys. Well, I'm gonna stay invested in it because I've actually I bought more on the
daily
area of interest. So we'll go through that. This RSI, right? It's kind of leading me to believe that we're kind of going. We're not really going trajecting down too much. In terms of a RSI level, what is this? 45.94. We're right now 45.99. So we could drop. What is the close? 3446. So I mean, if we can close a little bit higher with a little bit lower of an RSI, that would be very nice. That would be very nice, right? I mean, we do have something like this. We have something like this, right? So we do have something like this. Let's see. All right, let's see what we got with this. I would like actually to see. Actually, cancel that. Cancel that. I want to see this. Something like that, right? Let's leave that to the weekly. Perfect. So let's see what we do with that, right? Let's get right up on there. Do we get a rejection and then a bounce? Or do we go lower, right? Do we go lower? Do we get a rejection? So we'll see about that, okay? On the daily, let's look at some price action on the daily. So, right, we're still in this kind of pennant area, and we're right at that 3451 area that we marked the other day. Remember, we marked, okay, this showed a line of significance. I moved this other line based on the fib levels, and we've come right up to it. We did actually get below this lower end of, so this lower end at 3368. I added again at 3368, thinking, okay, but hey, even with TA, even with the levels, right, not perfect, right? Not perfect at all. So I mean, in all honesty, right, we still have higher lows from here, right? Higher lows from here. So if we did want to, if we do need to adjust, we can adjust. But right now, it's the idea that we should be seeing some type of correction ending soon. So what if this correction, I don't believe it's done yet. If you watch the XLM video, I just don't think this correction is done yet. If we are looking at the 2-3 are from the low to the high, we're right at that 69197, right? We're at that 69197, right below the 618. Do we have any line of significance down through here from this A wave to there? What about this A wave to the B wave? All right, close right above this 886 area. 886 area. We can always come down to the one of the overall A correction, and so you know we could see, especially, let's see this. I want to get this up through here. All right, get this up through here. I mean, worst case scenario, we come down. We really could come down to, here, let me double check with everything before I make any kind of gesture. Alright, before we make any kind of gesture, but yeah, from a low to a high, we've already come down to the 786. Are we sitting at that 786 right now? That's what that red line was at. So that red line was at that 786, 886 area. So I mean, if we close below these the 332, I can move this just slightly down, right? Slightly down. If we close below this area, then I'll update the lower time frame targets, because we really could see 2028. We really could see that, right? We really could, if this correction, if this sell-off prolongs and they really try to get everyone out, we really could. So be prepared for that. Worst case, right? Worst case. All right. So especially if we don't break out here, if we kind of reject off of here, off this trend line, if we reject off this trend line, right? We come up something like this. We reject off of here, then yeah, I could see us coming down. Especially because what do we got? We got 1, 2, 3 down. I mean, we can count this up here. This is kind of, let's see here. Do we find any significance through the rest? Oh, we came down to the 1618. Yeah, so we can have ABC. That's your A wave, right? So this is your A wave, ABC, 1, 2, 3. And you have your B wave, and then you have your C wave. So you could do a 311. You could do that, just because of how long this correction is for your C wave. It does come down to the 2272 of your overall wave. But let's see here. Actually, I don't know if I really want to take this. Taking this as the B wave is kind of, okay, let me see this B wave. Where could I take this B wave from? Let me see here. I don't know if I could take it from there. I just don't think I could take it from there. That doesn't look right, taking it from all the way up there. So even from right here, but we can take it from right here, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, we came down with just below the 1272. Yeah, that could be definitely a, because it's from the 1. Typically your C wave can range from the 1 of the A wave all the way to the 1618. 1 to the 1618. And so yeah, so do we show any signs of significance through here to the 113, to the 6197? I mean, I don't think we come all the way down here. That's such a far drop, dude. That really is something like that. 1618 of the overall correction from the B wave high. Because if this is the B wave high, right, and then you can come down in a 1, 2, 3, going to be your A wave, the C wave of the A wave, coming up in 1, 2, 3 to your B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we invert this, let's invert this. All right, let's do trend-based fib extensions. All right, let's come up here, come right back down here, come right here. Yeah, I mean this wave got to the 2272. Got to the 2272, came back up to the 113, and then now we are, yeah, I mean it's gonna, that line in the sand that we were kind of thinking about, the 2797, is at that 2618. So yeah, I mean typically of the first wave, let's do the third wave. First wave is to the 2618, third wave could be to the 1618. So if we come up a little bit lower, it's that lower time frame, it's that lower target of the 2410. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean this 886 area is kind of converging with that area too. The 786 area, man, I'm liking this right here. I'm down right to here actually. I am. So let's see that. That's worst case scenario. All right, worst case scenario for this next move, to finish off this last little wave. All right, we could see especially if we come up and bounce, but even if we come down right here, another 16%, right? You know, not a financial advice or not financial advice, but right, these are just areas of interest where you can look to buy. That's where I'm going to be looking to buy. Let's see. It's just with this, where this is at 2.8. Let's see what this shows. I mean, yeah, we touched down here, sat on it right there, sat on that right there. Yeah, I mean that's, yeah, possibly could. So, you know, we got to see where we're going to go with that overall range, right? Where I'd kind of want us to see it get us above, and we're looking really bullish, 382 of this overall range. But you know, we can mark this as the green. All right, 382 of the green, or of the lower extension of the lower time frame, right? Low to high. Sorry. Yeah, low to high. Tripping. 382 is the 4087. So of this area right here, kind of where we were trying to close above before, but we couldn't. Right, close above this before, especially if this is the A, B, C. Right, so it's so we got areas, right? We got areas. In order to see definitively higher prices, we do need to close above that 441 level. So we have some work to do. It's not out of the question, right? To see higher prices than the 8-9, then we need to close above the 6-2 level, because I'm thinking this is definitely a 1-2. Right, 1-2 of this overall range. Right here. Alright, so if we go from right there, just from that last low, alright, we got higher prices to look at. We came right up to, we couldn't even get above the 382. That 0.5 is right there as well. So just a good area to think about. Where are we going to go from here? Once we get up here, then I'll look at that. So I'm actually going to break down, I'm going to just release this video for just DEGEN, just just because it's been so long. We're gonna go over some more stuff. If you haven't been here, so these are some of the price targets, right? Typically in a bull market for crypto, you're not just gonna stop at your 1618. That's just not it. You're looking for your 2618 to the 4236 at least, right? At least. So, I mean, even from where are we today? We're down through here, right, to there. It's at a 300% move. 2618, you're looking at a 500% move, and then to the 4236, you're looking at an 800% move, right? And that's just this next wave. That's just the next move, right? Because if we're in a 1-2, this next 3, right, we could see come up to the 2618, pull back down, right? Pull back down to this 1618 to the 1272, right? Pull back down to previous areas of support right here, and then rock and roll for another one. Or we can just go up in one huge wave. It just market makers will determine what the price structure will look like, but these are some of the targets that we're looking at, right? These are some of the targets we're looking at. So overall, DEGEN does look good. If we're looking at, I haven't even got to the RSI or anything like that. On the daily, well, that looks nice, right? That looks nice. We have, let me get rid of this. It's just too much. Let me get rid of that. Let me pull this up. Right, so we are getting a higher low in the RSI. Higher low in the RSI, something like, no. Right, something like that. So that looks good. We still need to get above this moving average. Still need to get above the moving average. Fu Manchu, we still have a higher low. Can we reverse today? Can we close? Can we just not give up any gains today, right? Can we not give up any gains today? 8 hour. Yeah, more work to do. We're kind of forming, if you watch the XLM video, no green dot yet on the Fu Manchu, but it's not strong enough. We need more strength. We need way more strength. It just doesn't look, it looks kind of like a bear flag. And so we're far away from the moving average. We're still far away from that 55.86 level that we want to see us get above for it to be bullish. So we still have work to do, right? Same thing with this, right? We fell down below this wedge, and now we're kind of trying to recover. We are close to that weekly trend line. I mean, we've kind of actually touched and rejected off that weekly trend line. So we'll see what we do for the rest of the day. We are crossing above the moving average. Oh, this is nice, right? We're crossing above the moving average. And I did mark this, right? So we are breaking this lower trend line. So that would be nice. Because this failed. This was a failed breakout. Couldn't hold, right? So this is a failed breakout. I mean, theoretically, yeah, we could draw a trend line like this and, measure it and be like, okay, do we have higher lows? Something like that. We could do something like that where we are breaking out. Or we're trying to, at least we're trying to, but if it actually closes above it, then I'll be like, okay, look what we're doing here. It's looking good. But right now we are looking like we're trying to get a bounce off, like right below this 32.25 area that we marked last week. So yeah, overall it looks good. It just, we need work. We need to hold the ground. We can't just come up in 3 and then come back down in 5, because it still looks like a 1, 2, 3 wave move. Don't want to just go up in 3 like this. 1, 2, 3, slam back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? You don't want to see that. So overall, we're in the middle of a correction. If you, again, not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice, but if you're brand new to this, especially to a meme coin, right? DEGEN, for all those who don't know, is a meme coin. It's a meme coin on Base, right? It's the largest meme coin on Base. It stuck around through this last long bear market that we had from December to May, essentially. And yeah, it's at a very low market cap. It's at 83 million right now. It doesn't take a lot for this thing to move. And so these targets that I'm putting up are kind of bare minimum targets, right? This thing can really take off and change some of our lives, right? And that's why we're in crypto, right? That's why we're actually investing. And so this is just what I do, right? This is what I'm doing, and so, you know, I'm never gonna charge for my services, never gonna do anything like that, never gonna put you on leverage or do anything like that. And so, you know, take these with what you will. These are levels that I find of interest, and you know, I do think that today will kind of determine how the week is gonna go. Today, how we close. If we're showing signs of weakness, then we could definitely see some more downside, and some of those targets could be hit. So just be prepared, have a plan, don't get shaken out, don't make a decision based off your emotion. Have a plan laid out, and then stick to your plan. So I appreciate you stopping by. If you liked the video, drop a like, hit that sub button, and leave a comment where you're tuned in from. I appreciate you. All right, peace.